Here's your file in Photoshop. We're going to go down here and do Command J to make a new layer. If you're using Mac, it's Command J. And it did not make a layer, so let's try it again. Command J. You have your new layer. Go up here to your selection brushes. It's going to be a quick selection tool. And we're going to make our brush fairly decent size. Grab this shoulder, which is going to be kind of hard to do because it kind of got a little bit washed out from the light off the wall. And it's a fuzzy shirt, so it's a little hard to see. But we'll do our best to select that. Grab the hair and the beanie. Little ball up top. Some more of the hair. The other arm. Just select the whole bottom part here. Let's dial in this shoulder a little bit more. And then you can hit Option, subtract the selection. So by holding Option, it goes to the little minus symbol. You let go of Option, it goes back to adding to the selection. Make sure you get all the middle here that wasn't selected. And then under the arms, you're going to want to make your brush pretty small and select that portion in there, or minus it, so do the Option key and select. On this side, Option key, select. Down here in the corner, and this corner too. It looks like maybe a little right here. Alright, it doesn't have to be perfect. Usually people look at the eyes and the face, not so much the edges, but if the edges are too crazy, people will notice it. We can refine that selection. You can see the edge is kind of messed up here. We can fix all that afterwards, but it's not too big of a deal. Do a little, oh. Let's add that a little bit more. Oh, that was nice. Alright. So Command Z was that undo, if you don't know that already. And we can just kind of dial this in. It doesn't have to be perfect because we can mask it and just pull it back out later. Alright, and then this is where I get messed up here, around the hair. I'll show you how we can just clone that out if you don't already know how to do that. It looks kind of goofy, kind of senior portrait-like, but it works. Alright, so that's our selection. We're going to hit OK. Now we don't care about the exposure on her, we're just worried about the background, so we're going to go to Select and then inverse it. So now it went from selecting her to selecting the background. I like to save the selection just in case things get messed up. I don't have to do that selection over again. Maybe we can just say background here, and then OK. So if you ever hit like Command D and accidentally deselect it, you don't want to have to go back and do it again. You can go to Select, Load Selection, click here for the channel and go to the background channel, hit OK. Alright, so that's where we're at right now. Make sure this layer is selected. Go to Image, Adjustments, Exposure, and then you're just going to bump up that exposure so it's nice and blown out. You can see here it looks good here, but up in the corners you want to make sure the whole thing's blown out. And that looks pretty good. Make sure down here, down there needs a little bit more. Alright, so there's your white background. We're going to deselect that and then kind of look around the edges here. Now it's pretty pixelated because this was a JPEG. I imagine it to be a little bit better if you're using a RAW file. But you can see it's kind of goofy looking here. If that's the case, you can click on that layer and this little mask symbol. And now we're in this masking layer. Click on your brush. Make sure it's a black brush. and you can make it a fuzzy kind of brush or a hard brush. I like the fuzzy brush. Make sure it's 93-ish, or you can do 100 if you want. But then you can start painting some of that arm back in. Get that edge back in, not too much though, because you don't want that background popping through again through the white. So for example, you don't want that to happen. If that happens, you can do undo, or you can go back to your brush and make it white and just paint over it to bring that mask back there. On this side too, shoulder looks kind of goofy. We're gonna just kind of even that out with a black brush and kind of get the edge back a little bit. Yeah, you can kind of see that beigeish background coming through. Kind of fix it by just painting that. Let's see here. And now the hair. You could leave it the way it is. You can maybe mask it with black, change the opacity to something pretty low. Maybe jump in there and just kind of help take some of it away and bring back some of the white. There. I don't know. Something like that. Or you can do the senior portrait way and just kind of get rid of it. Click on your clone brush. Make sure you're on the actual image and not the mask. And we're just going to get rid of that hair right there. You're going to Command Option somewhere where there's a lot of white. We're going to use a hard brush for this, one with hard edges. And you're just going to kind of paint it away or clone it away to make it look nice and smooth and natural. And why is that not working? Let's see, oh, is this all layers? I don't know when it's not disappearing. It should disappear there. Let's see if we do it here. Yeah, okay, so we went on the bottom layer. Usually it works when you do all layers. You just kind of paint those flyaways away. Yeah, let's see. Okay, nice smooth edge on the same thing on this side if you want. It doesn't look too bad, but if you had to get rid of that, then oops, I guess I gotta go on that layer. And smooth it out with that clone brush. I guess that kind of looks natural there. But that's pretty much how you do it. You got your before and your after. Oh, that doesn't look good. That looks good. Alright, but that's what it's going to look like when you're done.